Great. Okay, well, we will formally kick off now. Thanks to everyone who's been waiting, all you early arrivers. So I'm Irene Scricky. I'm just a volunteer with OPH that helps to moderate these calls just so that Marnie can focus on the content, not have to worry about, teeing up questions and watching the time and all that. So as always, I'll just say a word that Marnie, who we're now looking at one of her dogs there, Marnie is the trainer on contract with OPH to work with both adopters and fosters on different behavioral issues. We've done a series of these calls. We do record them. So if there are some topics you're interested in that we covered before, they are all actually on the OPH YouTube channel. And at some point I'll put that in the link when I get a minute. So what we usually do is we have Marnie talk for a few minutes about the topic of the evening, and then we will, of course, open up for all of your questions. Feel free to start teeing up questions in the chat box if you want, and then we can, call on you when the time comes, or just read your question, whatever you prefer. So Marnie, I believe today's topic is Dogs 101, Dog Training 101, Dog Basics 101.
Right.
And so I will turn it over to you to kind of get us kicked off.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks, Irene. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. That's a good turnout for the beginning of the year. Thank you so much. And I'm sure plenty of people will be able to watch it because it's recorded and put in our library. So it's a good tool to have. We have asked everybody to start chipping in on what they would like to hear and what you would like us to go over. And Sharon Miller, our training assistant, has kindly suggested some topics for us to use, and she started right at the beginning with Dogs 101. Today we're joined by Penny. She is owned and loved by Teresa DeSena, who is, I'm sure, is on this call, and she's coming to stay with me. She won in the auction a few hours with me, and I decided to go ahead and add a couple days to that so she could stay in my home and I could really sort of, there's Teresa, hi Penny. So she could add a couple days to that to see, so I could just live with her in my home because she's only a couple hours away, and it's a really nice thing to have somebody be able to bring their dog so I can live with her and see what her issues with other dogs are. She's got some resource guarding issues, she's got some anxiety, stranger danger. Hi, sweet girl. Yes, you have. So I'm living with her for a few days. This is just a good timing because I go through the foundation steps, the 101, as it were, with each dog that comes in. I go through some key principles, and they're not dissimilar to the Shutdown Protocol. So hopefully everybody in here, I'm not going to bore everyone with details you already know about, but the Shutdown Protocol, where will they find that, Irene? In the Facebook group, in the files. Everybody gets it when they join.
Yeah, there's some resources for adopters on, well, actually the fosters, there's something in the foster manual, I think. For adopters, there are some tips for adopters, but actually, Marnie, we don't have a really good description of Shutdown. I was just looking for it. So something we should circle back on in terms of something in writing to hand out.
Yes, if we could
link and definitely if I can chime in, this is Lori.
Lori.
If you look under adopter resources, there is information on the shutdown under adult and puppy adoption packets, depending on if you have a puppy or an adult. For volunteers, you can go to the learning management system, and it is part of the foster training.
Perfect, good. Because the shutdown principles are really, really solid foundation principles. And here's why. When the dog first comes in to your home, whether it be a foster or a new adopter, this free time I'm giving her right now, she came in yesterday. She's already been in here 24 hours. And I start with crating and using a leash almost exclusively. Oh, she's checking things out. I'm allowing her to see what her behaviors are that she chooses. I'm allowing her out for a little bit. It won't be long periods unsupervised. It won't be, oh, are you helping yourself? So she likes to find food, get up on furniture. I start cataloging what choices. Good girl. No pressure, darling. I'm just making sure you don't give yourself diarrhea with the wrong things here. I start cataloging immediately when you do let them out. If they're not too rambunctious, I suggest you keep them on a leash in the beginning. But if they're fairly chill and your other dogs are put away, the first 24 hours, everybody just seems to want to throw them in the family and have this dream of this dog just fitting in. And it just doesn't work like that. I just have to tell you, they really need structure and rules and boundaries and guidelines in the beginning. They need to learn how to succeed. And I'm really going to detail this for a second, because the very first thing you do with the dog is bringing them in your home. And if you give them access to everything right away, they make all these choices, and then you find yourself, I hear clients all the time, I hear people running around going, I've got this problem, I've got this problem. They run around saying no, no, and that now they're breaking the relationship instead of building the relationship in the beginning. So, oh, Kobe, you can't object the fact that she's loose and you're not. It's just, I'm checking out to see what she's going to choose and what I need to put in place. So climbing on the furniture, looking for food, counter surfing, I'm looking for resource guarding choices. I'm looking for, is she interested in smelling the other animals? I'm looking to see the choices because I'm a trainer. I've only got a certain amount of time to change it. But when you're settling a dog into your environment, you really, really need to go look at that shutdown protocol. And I just linked several really good foundation, how to foster, what to do on the first day with dogs. Oh, I think there was one more that I didn't, that I'll go back, and when we're talking to other people, I'll go back in and link. But what to do in the beginning, these first few days, in fact, the first 2 weeks are critical. If you do not set up for the dog a routine that settles them down, teaches them where to lay down, where to go when they need their own space, how to have uninterrupted quality sleep, if you don't set them up to be rewarded, yes, I will absolutely. Thank you, Leash Manners. Yeah, because she is a hard puller, and we'll talk about a little bit. We'll touch on Leash Manners because that's key in foundation. So for some of you, I've talked about a reset before, and it's going back to these principles when you've got problems. But when you first get the dog in, there's no better time in the world to bring them in and show them how to succeed, right? So you show them where to sleep. You need to sort of start setting up about 3 hours a day. Chewing is my feeling. Again, this is my opinion. I've been doing training for about 20 years. I have a degree in animal science and behavior. I have my KPA CTP. I'm a certified training partner with Kind Academy. I've worked in 12 different shelters and rescues. I'm a consultant for courts, police, shelters and rescues. I'm brought in for awful cases. I deal with a lot of bitey, reactive, growly dogs. I've trained service dog puppies. So I really have a lot of hands-on experiences with dogs that are just failing in homes. Hello, darling. I've fostered a lot of dogs. I don't know if you just saw this, but she's nervous. Anyone watching this will be able to see she's got some anxiety. She's scared of her own shadow. She's a little bit unsure. She's new, but she puts herself right in your face and she's unsure. So that's going to lead, I know, to barking or growling at someone if they move too quickly or she feels too much eye contact or pressure. As a trainer, I can catalog these choices carefully by watching her loose in an environment, but I'm only going to do it for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour at a time. Let her make choices and then put chews back in her crate, put puzzles and Kongs and toys. I want her chewing when I'm not actively watching and I'm going, right, now the next activity we do, I can set her up to succeed in such a pure way because I haven't got a bunch of failing behaviors to run around pulling her away from. So you really, if I say nothing else in this video of any use, when you first get a dog, oh, good girl, I can pay decisions she makes. She loves the couch. If I wasn't a person that liked dogs on the furniture, or if I'm working for a client that doesn't want the dogs on the furniture, I'm not going to run around in the first 24 hours telling her no, 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 no. It's up to me to put her on a leash and take her to a dog bed and sit down with her, hold a chew, give her things to do on the dog bed and sit there with her, read a Kindle, watch TV, do something, work. I will often do my notes while I'm holding a dog and just sitting somewhere with them. Because if I leave her loose, I can't then go and tell her everything she's doing is wrong. It will put too much pressure on her brain and it will be destroying our relationship. And in this period, building our relationship. And in fact, this whole call, if we sum it up, apart from rules and structure and showing them how to succeed, doing things that build trust is the most important thing you can possibly do with any dog. What you need to do as a human is say, where do I have flaws with the dog? Where are things going not so well? How do I guide them more? How do I add more supervision? How do I build more trust? How do I use food, resources, toys? The basic needs any dog has are incorporated into any activity I do. Hi, sweetheart. I might get a jar of baby food and let her lick it when she makes a positive, confident choice. I may bring her away from a scary situation because I can see she's anxious. As a trainer, I can start cataloging the things that I can start influencing to make her be able to succeed. What you do not want to do with any new dog is start putting them in an environment where the only choices they can give you are the behaviors that they had in the past, their repertoire, their library of behaviors that have been learned or acquired through genetics and environment, nurture versus nature. So they've got these things that they've learned, and they've got basic behavior needs they're trying to meet. And if you stop arguing with them in the beginning, you are going to destroy trust, and you're going to have more and more problems. You can't start asserting yourself and dominating. New dogs growling and snarling at current dog. Oh, can you read that, Irene? It flashed up, and my computer's not letting me log into Facebook, so I missed it. Can you read that to me?
Yeah, new dog growling and snarling at my current dog. If I'm giving them a high value treat, they're both sitting about a foot apart when this happens. New dog is normally submissive to my current dog otherwise.
Right. Food, competition, proximity. So if we know it, we can prevent it. If it's predictable, it's preventable. So first of all, we've got to say that in the presence of food, we need more space. Second of all, how new is the dog? If the dog's really new, then being out and adding food in to the new dog, they're too uncomfortable with the new dog to start introducing resources like too much attention, food, proximity. If they're uncomfortable, you said this otherwise, it doesn't mean they're comfortable. So we really got to establish 3 weeks ago. Okay, so you're past the shutdown period of 2 weeks, but they're still very, very new. So you'd start introducing food for the other dog at a distance, one of them on leash, preferably the new dog. The new dog gets food, and that predicts whatever the best motivator is for the brand new dog. Sorry, your dog, the resident dog, gets food at a distance. The new dog could be more motivated by toys or affection, could be motivated by different food. Whatever the best motivator is for that dog, you want feeding the other dog, the resident dog, to predict that this dog will get success, get rewarded, get told good wait, good stay, good settle. Whatever you're doing, you say the word after good. You don't say good dog all the time. You'll say good finish, good stay, good wait, good down, good off, whatever the word is that you're trying to build up. But you'll tell the dog, come over here, sit at my feet. The resident dog gets fed, and then you build up massive reinforcers to the new dog for seeing the other dog get fed. That way, this is the key of behavior modification versus obedience trainer. I am not an obedience trainer. I don't really do tricks, though. I'm going to do one whole segment on tricks, and you're going to watch me teach my dogs, because I just have to do so many fundamental behavior problems that I don't get to do the fun stuff. But I do teach a 4-H class. I do some of it, some agility stuff just for fun, but I do not pretend to be a competition person at all. But some of those things are introduced, but obedience is very different than behavior modification. Hi, sweet girl. Hi, baby girl. I'm going to leave her alone. I'm just telling her that coming next to me is welcome and safe, and I'm good with that. So you're predicting the other dog, and the other dog will see the behavior that was previously a problem because of proximity and newness and everything, and them not being so comfortable sharing food yet too close to each other. the other dog getting food predicts safety, predicts resources, predicts attention, and now that dog being fed, if you do that often enough, the other dog, the resident dog being fed, will just alleviate and soothe the new dog without needing the food or the motivators. Eventually, it becomes its own reward. Really, in behavior modification, what I was trying to say, Kobe, that's enough. Kobe, that's it. Finish. I know things are happening. People are moving around. You want out. We're just going to ignore him because he can throw a tantrum all he likes, but it's not going to get, no, And usually I'd leave the room if a dog's giving me a hard time and having a tantrum. But for this purposes, you're going to see that I'm just going to muddle through. I would just give a consequence of me removing myself, which is a predictor of something good coming for them, usually a soothing and enjoyable. A consequence, a punisher, is me removing myself, and the opportunity for rewards or for coming out goes away because their behavior I'm objecting to, he's very quiet about it really, but he's got feelings, and that's okay. I'm not shutting them down. I'm saying your behaviors and your choices have consequences. But similarly, we can take behaviors that a dog does and make them predict. Sitting and waiting by you while the other dog's fed predicts good things and predicts safety. And eventually just that dog being fed will be able to be closer and closer because it will predict safety. They'll see the other dog, but maybe it's just too soon and you just need to back off and use distance for everything. Anytime there's a problem, you use distance, you use retreat, you add in a reward, or you take them away or remove yourself as a consequence. So there's always the fundamental principle here. There are rewards for things that you see that are going right. So you really want to reward that dog when the other dog gets attention. You want to reward that dog when the other dog comes near. But when you add in food, you need distance because you have a problem. Does that make sense? Okay. So on to the next item in fundamentals when a new dog comes in. And I'm just, like I said, you start cataloging or journaling or videoing. If you want to send stuff to the training team, we can look at it for you. We can train on new trainers with these videos. We can share these videos. I just keep mine. I don't have a library yet, but I will start building a YouTube channel with some behaviors as long as people are comfortable with me using them for training. But we can observe is a massive principle. Oh, eats her food like it's her last meal. No other dog, only a cat who gets fed. So bolting food, this dog, Penny has that too. You want to use puzzle feeders and slow it down. It's inherent from either being starved, not knowing where their next meal, anxiety in a shelter, being fed next to other dogs, so everybody's gulping. They're worried the resource is going to be gone, even if no dog is present. So you want to slow that down with slow feeders, puzzle toys. Don't make a big deal of it. Excuse me, I inhaled my oxygen the wrong way. Don't make a big deal of it, but just slow the food release rate down. When I'm broke, I've put a rock in the bowl, a big rock in the bowl, and they eat around it. But they make these wonderful puzzle feeders and slow feeders now. So you just make it harder for them to bolt, or smaller meals, because bloat is not fun. I've never had it, but I've known people who've lost dogs to it. Kobe, finish. I don't know what you need, but it will be addressed. I don't know if anyone got you out. Right? I know. You have to finish though to go out. That's the rule. And I'm just talking to myself really. So you guys can see how I'm addressing a dog that is throwing a temper tantrum. I've told him what I want, and if he ignores it, I'm going to leave the room because that's my usual rule. I'll wait 5 minutes and then I will address his need, his underlying need, which is to go potty. But when he's silent, excuse me 1 second. Andrew, did you get Kobe out? No, did you? You did. Okay. Then he's either hungry, thirsty, or just lonely, and I'll just leave him alone for a minute. He'll be okay. That's our little foster game.
So yes, it's really a case of then building a cataloging. So you know what behaviors you like, but before you start intercepting them and working on them, you need to observe them and just breathe. Don't try and micromanage. That's the one negative I see all the time. People start micromanaging and hands-on, way too much touch in the beginning. Build trust. Wait for the dog to make a decision you like. Have some chicken cut up or some cheese. He was groaning like an old man. So I don't know what he needs. Have some chicken cut up with some cheese hidden on your person. And when you see a decision you like, say yes or make a mouth click. Or have a clicker and just click it. They won't know what it means, but you make a noise rather than use words, because humans have this thing called verbal diarrhea. We, as you can hear me blabbering on right now, those dogs can't filter all that out. And they're new. They don't know which words are relevant to them. So don't put too much pressure on their brains by giving too much verbal instruction. People think, and we do it, we're like, no, sit, Fido, down. Hi, Kobe Kangaroo. No, sit, Fido, down, leave it off. We're just blah, blah, blah. And we're talking to each other. We're talking to them. We're saying all this stuff and we're touching them. Dogs get massively overaroused. Overstimulated, actually, is the real word. Overstimulated, and it's impossible for them to succeed in those conditions. So really, really basic stuff is bring them out for a period, put your valuables away, don't let them fail horrifically, make sure there's nothing they can do that's too awful. If they have an accident, they have an accident. You can absolutely disagree with the accident. You can be like, oh no, but you're not doing it at the dog. Get them out to the toilet, clean it up really, really well with enzymes cleaner. Make sure that you address that, but don't like really punish the dog for everything. You're going to manage everything that you don't want. You're going to start rewarding the things you do want, and you're going to set that dog up to succeed. Here's the really important part. You need to be trustworthy, and you need to be interesting, and you need to be able to compete. You need to be the coolest, most fun, most attractive thing in the room at any time. Did you see in when I showed you Penny, her choices weren't to sit and gaze at me yet. 24 hours in, she's done a lot today, and she's already given me a lot of affirmation and check-ins, but I took my attention off and I was doing something and she just sniffed. Her need was for sniffing, exploring, quiet time, processing, and she didn't need interference with me. I know. I start cataloging what needs she has, what time she has them. So I can start tomorrow. I've already gotten a full day and the previous night of knowing what choices she makes at what time. And I can start presenting those options to her in a way that makes me look amazing. So I'm going to look like her best friend tomorrow. I'm going to be offering her these things. I'll be like, it's sniff time. You get to find stuff that I've hidden around the room. 7:24 tomorrow, we're going to make sure that you've got quiet time, sniff time, no other dogs. It's detox time, a nice bed by my feet, even though you like couches. If she goes on the bed, I'll drop chicken on it, because then I can control where the bed is and where the other dogs are. She's going in her crate more. She's been leash training more. She's been playing with dogs more. She's been sharing toys. It's overwhelming. At this point, she's going to go to bed and sleep. Right about now till tomorrow about 8 o'clock. She's just going to have complete quiet time, no more interaction. You do not want to be adding too much touch and words to a new dog. It really sets them up to be frazzled. It's just like you. If you go learn something new and someone's trying to teach you something, but they're giving you constant feedback while they're teaching you, and some of it's quite negative, it's too much on our brains. We melt down. We have a panic attack. Dogs are even, English is not a language that's easy for them. So you need to keep it real simple and real positive, and then put them away. Management. We need their crates to be the best place in the world, or a room, or a baby gated room, or an indoor kennel that's set up in a room, a bigger space if they're claustrophobic, or tethering, or have them on a leash. We really need to use those basic principles of teach them how to succeed. So they come out of their area, they're on a leash, they go to the bathroom. Now we're going to get into the leash use. You really want a front fastening harness that either clips to the collar, the front of the harness. I don't like back fastening harnesses are for sled dogs. So don't use a back fastening harness unless your dog's already really walking well on one. Use a front fastening harness that helps pull them off center if they pull, and stop following if they pull. Brand new dog, your only job in life is to get them to the bathroom and then move back and forth and go up and down and up and down and get them to follow you. And when they're not in front of you or not following you, turn away, reject it. As soon as they start following you again, drop some chicken on the ground to tell them they're doing the right thing. The food isn't to bribe them. It's to give them a clue other than our verbal English, which they may not be fluent in. I mean, really, give them a clue that they're doing the right thing. And they may not want the chicken, but you're offering something to tell them they're doing the right thing. And it gives them something to sniff if nothing else. So you really want to put the leash on, get them to the bathroom. And the second they've gone to the bathroom, really begin not following a dog that pulls. It's you we're training now, not the dog. You're not going to go for a walk. You're just not. Just forget that. Get that out of your head. People are like, the dog has to exercise. I have to exercise. Stop fixating on a linear progression of events. Dogs really learn in bite-sized chunks. We all do. All learners, and they need to be brave, and they need to build up a relationship with you. So when a dog looks at me, I move. When a dog comes to get me, I move. I reward them with the next few steps and then some chicken. And when they're pulling, I turn around immediately. I bend my knees, I bring the leash into my belly button, and I hunker down and I turn away and I just look where I want to go. Because if you look at the dog, you're passively accepting where they're trying to go. It just, in dog language, when you look at the dog, it's just polite for you lead, I'll follow. Have you ever thought about being in a burning building? And if you were trying to escape out of a burning building, it's on fire, smoke's everywhere, you don't know where you're going, and you run into someone in a fire suit, that they've got all the fire gear on, and you look at them, you're like, get me out of here. And they go, I'm going to lead you out. I'm going to save you. Follow me. And then they just watch you. It'll be about 30 seconds before you turn and start leading them out of the building, and you don't know where you're going. Because when you watch a dog, they can't follow you. When you watch a dog, it should be when you've got a partnership, you're looking at each other. It's a 60-40 relationship. You lead 60%, they're 40% of the equation, because they have needs. They need to sniff, they need to stop, they need to potty, they need to move. But you can do all that in a much smaller area to build up success. And yes, gentle leader, front fastening harnesses. Some dogs really violently object to gentle leaders, and if it causes distress, I just don't do it. So a front fastening harness is a must, and I will use that tool with the worst dogs you could ever imagine. I have a back cracked in 3 places. I have osteoporosis, I have fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's thyroid disease. I've been in a wheelchair for a year. Guess what? You can't give me a dog that I can't get to stop pulling. It's not about physical strength. It's about the mindset of making sure I'm not on ice when I do it. It's the mindset of, I will not follow a dog who pulls. You cannot make me do it. I will use a longer line than most people because I'm starting in an area just like this. It doesn't have to be huge. Sorry, I've got dogs running everywhere. There's corporates. We mop daily, but that doesn't matter. So I don't have a very big area to start with. As long as I can relieve their need for the bathroom, and as long as they can sniff, we're good. And we just start going back and forth, back into the house and out, back into the house. Don't get a dog to expect that we're going on this long walk, that we're going into the car, we're going to the dog park. Don't take a dog to the dog park in the first month, ever. And even really serious about, be really seriously mindful about whether to take them at all. Because just because they may like dogs doesn't mean they've got enough good dog behaviors themselves, or the other dogs in the dog park have good dog behaviors. You need a massively confident social dog to go to the dog park and be ready for anything that happens. So be aware. And I keep spray shield on me. I've never had to use it, touch wood, because I usually take a couple of dogs that can stop any other dog from doing anything bad. I usually take three good dogs and one new dog, so that we're totally protected. But I have spray shield, and I will use any of those spray things. I have a bite stick that I'll sometimes take, but yeah, you really need to be set up, because you just don't know what kind of dogs are being taken, and you need to be ready. Did we have any more questions, Irene, at this point?
There was one that came in, the very first one actually was, how do you train a dog to stay? So we want to talk about that. And then again, folks, feel free to send more in, or I will also open it up for verbal questions in a minute as well. So staying,
Okay.
how do we stay?
And on those links I gave at the beginning, there's some amazing resources. The book, if you check out my Facebook page, Marnie Harris, you can friend me, and I have dog trainer friends from all over the world that have written books, and they posted some of their links on my Facebook page, because I said I was teaching in class and asking for basics. So some really amazing people who, Emily Larlam, Keto Pup on YouTube, does the best stay. I love her stay. Diane Garage does de-stress, canine detox, de-stressing and detox. She's got a book I love for just calming dogs down and zen. So, but for me, it's about going to the place that you want them to stay in first. So start with a bed or something really obvious and go sit down with them. Toss treats on it whenever they look at the bed. You just have them on a leash. Let's pretend this is a bed, dog bed. Let's pretend I've got a dog on a leash, and I'm just holding the leash and they sniff the bed. I will toss some chicken, and then I'll lead them away again, or they'll come away. And when they decide, not when I'm trying to get them there, when they decide to go on that bed, I'll just toss some chicken. Then I'll go slowly, I'll sit down, I'll hang out. When they sit down, I'll hand feed them. This is how I give dogs their dinner. I don't start giving them in a bowl. Usually I'll start mixing in some chicken and rice, or something yummy, some green beans. Green beans are great snacks for dogs, really great, especially if you cook them and they're crunchy. Or frozen. Dogs don't get enough veggies, so those really nice, easy sweet potato, green beans, carrots. Those are great snacks for dogs. So yeah, a little bit of apple, a little bit of banana. You can try and feed different things.
Hey, Marnie, Marnie, your sound is getting weird again, like it did last call.
Wait, let me move.
It was good, and then it got very tinny.
Oh, hello, darling. Hello, good girl. Okay, so let me actually show you with a dog that's offering a stay right now. Dogs offer behaviors. Our job is to capture it like you were taking a photograph, so that we can put it on a cue, and that we can get it reliably. So this dog's offering a stay. I'm going to just use some real simple little treats here. I will make the mouth click, and I will just give her a few cookies. She was already staying. Now she just decided to get down, because that's what usually happens once you reward a dog. They go, where did the food go? So I'm going to just move away, and I'm going to wait for her to make a choice. And fast forward a little bit, because sometimes this can take a minute. If I move closer, it's more likely to be a stay. So I'll move closer. She's not laying down this time. So you've got to decide. See, she offered it. With fearful dogs, and I've only had this dog 24 hours, with fearful dogs, you get confidence. They offer behaviors. You need to feed the ones you like, ignore or redirect the ones you don't. Don't make a big deal of a wrong answer. So there she went back down into the down stay position. I haven't given a cue yet. I'm just paying it. And you could use one cookie, so that you could use, but I would use like beef or something. If I only use one, I'm using a few cookies because these are low-grade cookies. But there she was in a stay. Now I'm going to reset. What you do is you toss some cookies to reset the dog. She's probably not going to get off because she likes the couch. But there she goes. So she's resetting herself. And now I can give the cue. There's going to be a couple of cues here. Up, up. She's thinking. So you don't say it over and over again. Just say it once and let them think. Let them breathe. If she doesn't do it, then she doesn't get the cookie. Give her time. Up, and I just leave it alone. She didn't do it, so I'm just going to ignore it until she puts herself back in that position, and then I'm going to reward, because that word she doesn't know from me in this context, me standing up, she doesn't know yet. So, but she's going to figure it out. Good job. Good up. Good up. Down. And again, it was a suggestion. You want to keep your cues to be a nice, gentle suggestion. Dogs are very brave learners. Stay. Oh, the door was a cue to leave. So I'm not going to do that next time. I will do something different. See how I just adjust and learn on the fly. Up. And then I'll give the cue and I'll move away. I'm not expecting her to do it. We've never done this before. We've never worked together on this. She's thinking, she's experimenting, she's learning, she's thinking, where are the cookies? She's not processing everything I'm saying, so don't expect anything. Be real gentle. But every time she gets up and lays down, I'm going to raise my hand and then click and give her a cookie next time. And then I'll take one step back and click and toss a cookie. So she'll learn that I go further and further away. And when she stays, she gets the cookie. And if she leaves, she doesn't get a cookie. So it's real simple, but I've linked some amazing, Pico Pup YouTube has a video that is absolutely phenomenal. The best stay ever. She is a brilliant obedience and clicker trainer. She's got amazing timing. But I get a stay where I could literally get in the car and go to the store and leave a plate on the floor. For my dogs, I want a stay so good that when I say stay, they don't break it, because usually I'm working with other dogs that could be dangerous or volatile. So once I get a stay with my own dogs, that I start adding a level, or service dog stay, where you need them to stay. But it's not done with pressure. It's done by building trust. It's done by repetition, building trust, and allowing them to make every mistake, but the mistakes don't pay. And I'll walk away. The animal always ends and starts the session. If she's no longer interested in working with me, I stop. And I'll come back to it in an hour or 30 minutes. That's why I use a lot of food, because I may as well just hand feed them rather than put it in a bowl. I will use tug toys as a preferred, even over food, I prefer tugging or fetch, because real life rewards are the goal. Food is a placeholder and real life rewards are the goal. It could just be affection. My border collie will wait all day in a stay in a place doing something, watching something on his own, and he will work for 1 hour of frisbee fetch or ball fetch. He will work for 8 hours. He'll herd dogs for me. He'll tolerate grumpy things. He'll stay still for hours just to get 1 hour of fetch with me a day. So, it's amazing what can be done with these simple cues. And I'm just giving her a suggestion. She's literally brand new and she's just thinking, and I'm distracted. I'm not really paying attention. And I've got the worst cookies in the world. I have absolutely nothing of value. But she'll either do it or I'll be done and I'll go away. She's right now, this is the most valuable point though. She's thinking and she's going, what do I need to do to train this human to do things I like? And that mistake and that thinking is the most important thing, not the actual stay. Putting pressure on them, because she'll get back up because it was comfortable. She'll get back up because she was fed. And then I'll just put my hand up, click treat, and then I'll start backing up one step. I went to the door. I did too many steps in the beginning. And that's just, she wanted to go out because that's where we go. Look, she's all interested in that. So I'm going to teach her that isn't actually what I'm going to do. Let's see if I can lure her back up. But if not, it doesn't matter because we'll work on this and we'll get there really quick because she's smart, but she's shy. And the more shy a dog is, the longer it takes for them to think things through. So you've really got to be patient. Like with a child, like with a 2-3-year-old, dogs have the intelligence level of a 3-4-year-old child. Some of them a 2-year-old child. So you're really got it, but they are incredibly smart. You've just got to be so patient. You got to be so patient, and you've got to prevent them making any horrible mistakes by removing things in the room that are too distracting. You've got to build up yourself to be the most interesting thing in the world, which means I have all the resources. I get out the toys, I get out the food, I give the affection, I give the play. I don't let the other dog steal the show. My dogs don't steal the show. I don't let the cat steal the show. I control everything in the beginning so that I'm relevant and I'm really exciting and they want to work for my attention. That's what I do. Any other questions at this point?
Yeah, let me, there's one that actually, it makes me laugh because I always have the same question. It kind of follows up on that. And there's a couple others, but when do you do this observing, rewarding? Is it a special training time? And most importantly, how do you get anything done outside of training? Which we're all thinking, can I do this 24/7?
Yes, that's a beautiful question. I do 5 minutes. I get a baggie with some chicken in it and I mix their kibble in it and I do 5 minutes and then I'll give them the rest of their food in a bowl if the session isn't going really well and I can't really reward it. But she's right next to me, but I'm settling down to teach her that what I actually want isn't exploring. I'll see if she'll give me another sit in this limit that we have time-wise here. I'll see if she settles, but she's getting more comfortable being herself around me and expressing herself, making choices. And I've had no negatives to this dog, not once. When I say no, you've heard me, Irene. When I say no, I'm a bit terrifying because I am dealing with some dogs that could. I've got one dog that will eat people. I've got dogs that have attacked other dogs. I've got dogs that will resource guard. I've got all kinds of not. So when I speak no, they listen. It's not that I won't use any punishment ever. But I try that more of an artist you are, the less no you use. The best dog trainers in the world, they use no. They don't need to ever. With wolves and crazy creatures, they're using very subtle finesse, but they're doing it a lot. I do 5-10 minutes. And then I go and I have to, Laurie's like, can you write this up for me? And I'm like, no, I'm training a dog. It doesn't work like that. Real life comes in. And we have to go back to work. So you make it count, use the things that you've got, really stack the odds in your favor, and just do it every chance you get, 5 or 10 minutes, but set it up so the dog really wants something when you're doing it. And then the reward you're using is what they really need. Like just 2 seconds of a sit and leash up and lay down, and then off we go to potty. Or if you know you're going to have a car ride somewhere and I'm stroking her because she's quite sensitive to touch, she gets a little startled easily. Even though she loves touch, she's a little easily startled. So I'm using her desire for cookies to get her to accept some touch and some eye contact. And she finds it hard to have direct eye contact from strangers, but she's putting herself in my bubble. So I'm like, I'm going to use this to train you to accept some things because you have a desire to be near me. You have a desire to sniff. You have desire. She laid down. And that was the first time since all that I was able to get the cookies back out and get going again. And now that I've done that, I'll stand up. See, this is where the click is beautiful. And I'll just keep adding cookies and I'll move away a little bit and I'll move back and feed. The stay happens because I move back and feed. The stay, it doesn't happen because I walk away and she follows me and gets fed. Don't need to tell her stay yet. Don't need to say it. I make it happen. I make it happen. And I capture it happening. She's learning she doesn't need to get off the couch to get the cookies. In fact, if she gets off the couch, it takes us 10 minutes to get back in the rhythm of being fed. Now I'll add a cue. Now you'll see me add the cue, even though we're not really ready for it. Stay. Stay. Almost. But you get the idea. It's dead relaxed. I don't stress it. I make it so simple. I make it kindergarten level for the dogs to succeed. I don't make anything really difficult. I don't sweat the small stuff. I make it really simple. I make it really easy to succeed. I'm not making it fancy, and I'll build it up. And pretty soon, within a couple of days, you'll have a really reliable stay. But dogs don't generalize. She'll know stay in this room on this couch with this hand signal when she's hungry with these cookies, I have to play with it a lot to get it really reliable everywhere and anywhere. And from standing up, from sitting down, in the presence of other dogs, there's no rules. See, she got off. It's not a stay that I can give as a command yet. When you do a command to stay, you must have put in enough time and repetition to have an expectation that that dog will succeed. So don't start. My other fundamental principle is don't have expectations the dog just can't meet yet. Really set it up where you, so that cataloging and observing, I do that when I've got time to chill. Whenever I've got time to watch them for 20 minutes, I'll get them out, see what choices they make, and then I will put them away to something I know, or I'll put them in doggy daycare because I have dogs to play with. I have dogs that work as staff for me. I've trained my dogs to act like humans and tell the dogs off so I don't have to. So my dogs will discipline the dogs and keep them busy and keep them safe and keep them occupied in my absence, because that's what I've built for 20 years, is like dogs that will do my work for me so I can be lazy and go do other things. So I love that, because everyone knows that though, helper dogs are brilliant. So when you've got a helper dog, it's like genius. Now she wants the cookie, she's asking for the session. This is what you want to see. Look at that interest. We didn't have that before. We had shy and shut down. What we're seeing now in real time is a dog that says, how do I get these cookies? If I move away and she follows me, there'll be no cookies. Now that she's doing it, I'll go back and give a cue. Stay. I'll leave my hand there, and then I'll reward. And actually, I'm going to reward again. I'm going to move away while she's eating. Stay. And it's dead simple. I can't talk and train at the same time. I need to make videos of me doing an actual real training session without trying to talk to humans at the same time, because I'm a much better trainer when I'm not focusing on humans. Stay. And it doesn't matter. I'm just saying the word for her to get used to it. I'm using my hand signal for her to get practice. When she's finished, stay. Doesn't matter, she can keep eating those cookies. She went into a down position, which means she's understanding. This dog wasn't thinking a lot because she's impulsive and anxious. And I need her owner to research. If you're watching, you're probably grinning to see your baby do anything. She just needs to think more. She needs to make more sound decisions. What I specialize in is teaching a dog to think for themselves so people don't have to micromanage. I don't want people telling them what to do all the time. I don't want people micromanaging. I want the dog to make choices that work for them and get them to have a home for life. Not to eat people, not to attack dogs. I love seeing Penny on this call. I know, isn't it great having an OPH dog we work with on the call? I love it. More people should win auctions so that I can train more of your dogs while I'm doing these calls, because it tickles me pink. She's still in the game. She still wants to play the game. So I can build up distance and duration. But making these 10 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever it is, don't go longer than the animal. If the animal gets disinterested, I finish immediately and we don't do it again for a while. The animal has to be able to make choices. Choice-based learning is the only way to go. If you're compelling an animal, you're damaging their brain. So do it as little as possible. Oh, I'll compel an animal not to knock everything over or eat everything. I will be human. Of course I will. But I do that as little as possible. And I use my environment. I set it up for success as much as possible. The things I missed, like, there's a ton of things I didn't cover, but it's because those resources are so good. I don't want to overshadow. I gave you the best resources you could possibly get in those links. I think I may have missed one or two, so I'll add them, but you can't get better than those resources. Those are really good resources. So use them. Yes.
Great. Okay, no, I was just gonna say we do have some more, excuse me, some more questions have come in. Someone, I'll tell, goodness, there's even more and more coming in. I can't keep up. But one from a little bit ago was after about 6 months, adopted dog started barking and lunging at trucks and buses when she had been fined before. That would be an interesting one, I think.
Okay. sometimes I'll just jump in right there. Sometimes vibrations set them off where before you were fine, they got too close, it got too flooding, they got flooded. So use distance, get further away, and start using whatever the best motivator you've got in life at a distance when they come. Get that previously noxious stimuli to now predict safety and retreat. The biggest thing is you feed them when they hear the bus coming or the big truck coming, feed them and then retreat from it. Or retreat and feed. Let them know you know they don't feel safe and provide safety. Better than food, better than toys. If a dog knows you'll provide safety for something, they know you're listening to them and you'll react and get them away. This is reactivity with other dogs 101. When they know that they're worried and you'll bail, you become God to a dog. Because safety above everything else. It's the dogs that don't care about safety that you're going to need to email me about. Carry on, Irene.
Okay, so another one. How do we keep a new puppy from whining and crying in the crate at night?
They are social animals and they are bred to be with a litter. It is freaking tough for puppies by themselves at first. Put the crate next to the bed, sleep with the damn puppy. People, do whatever you can to ease. Put something warm that you can't chew and break. Put something warm in there. Put a clock that's ticking. Get some noises, gentle noises. Get some soothing ocean sounds. Get that crate near the bedroom. It is cruel. People may disagree with me, but I feel like puppies, we're setting them up for separation anxiety for life. Those early experiences are traumatic. So I get a puppy on me, with me. I won't make it so long. I'll build them up to be able to stay away by themselves, and I'll make sure they're warm. Often puppies aren't warm enough. They're used to snuggling with their mom's bare skin and a litter. This is incredibly important. I'm sure we've got puppy people who are specialized in puppy rearing, so I don't mess with my puppy people, but I have raised a lot of puppies and it's too brutal. It's too brutal. Be way kinder. Break it down like anything else. Break it down into manageable chunks. Just do less time alone. Just do an hour or two more snuggles before and then get up a little earlier. They can't self-soothe yet. They don't have it. They can't self-soothe yet. They just don't have it. So make it easier for them. Make it warmer, make more noises. Bring that crate next to the bedroom. You're going to go through it with a puppy. It's why we get rescue dogs, not puppies sometimes, because it's tough with puppies. Sleep with them. Seriously, if you can possibly at all, set it up where you can at least be with them for a bit. Do it, because you're setting them up for separation anxiety otherwise. That's just my opinion.
Thanks, Marnie. I know when I've had new fosters come home, and I've had quite a few, if I sleep in the same room with them and when they make noise, I just talk. I say, I'm here. I try to put them to sleep with my voice. The longest I've had a dog bark was 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Second night, half an hour. So I mean, I'm not saying it's the right strategy, but I think they don't want to be by themselves. They don't have to be in your bed, but they don't want to be alone.
Exactly. And letting a puppy scream, any puppy that's screaming, they can't cope. They are actively dying inside, and it will set them up for trauma for the rest of their life. So don't beat yourself up if that's happened to you. Don't be gentle with yourselves. We don't know what we don't know. So that's why you're here, to learn. But email us. We will help you. I have breeders that are exceptional that I support, and I only support them because they're exceptional, and I follow their advice. Puppy culture. Oh my God, the best resource. Everybody should be using puppy culture. It is the best resource I've ever found in my life, bar none. Puppy culture. .com, puppyculture.com.
Okay, let's go to the next one. And I could let people I'll read one more. Maybe I could let people actually speak for themselves. I hate to speak for you. It's just sort of easier to keep track here. But how to introduce two cats to the new young 1-year-old dog.
Sorry, carry on.
How best to introduce two cats to the new dog who's a year old.
Distance, let them see When they see the cat, do not mix them right away. Don't let them sniff. Don't get them up. The cat needs to learn to be safe. The cat needs to learn to not act like prey. They need to learn that it's safe for them to be the predator they are. Dogs don't respect prey. They respect predators. Use distance time and make sure that that dog does not get all the marrow bones, all the toys, all the chicken, all the treats, all the walks, all the affection, till they see the bloody cat. When they see the bloody cat, they get absolutely freaking everything happening for them away from the cat and nothing to do with the cat, but the cat predicts. I don't ever tell a client I can fix cat aggression, but I fix cat aggression all the time, but I never, ever say it because I won't tell the client they can never have a cat safely with a dog that's been cat aggressive because it's just not safe because the cat will only has to lose once. So really don't rush it. Really don't mess around. Don't rush it. Let the dog smell, let the dog see, feed the dog when they see the cat, bring the dog away, play tug with them, distract them. Once they see the cat, take them to something amazing, take them to the fridge, give them half the contents of the bloody fridge. You can't do enough for your babies, for your small dogs, and for your cats. Make it pay when they see them. If they're bored and a cat's moving, guess who they're going to want? They're going to want a moving cat or a young child, or like, just make it pay for the things that could upset the dog or make the dog overstimulated. Run away and make everything amazing happen. Don't give them all this stuff for free. And then the cat comes and they were bored and now they're chasing the cat. No, not on my watch. Never happening. They see that cat walk by. I get dogs that want to kill cats and they leave here laying next to the cat. Cody's Club Rottweiler Rescue couldn't believe it. They had a dog that was attacking and killing cats and she's laying next to cats. I don't ever tell a client, I'm like, that dog stays in a home without cats for life. Yeah, look at that face. Oh my God. That's the cutest.
Sorry, Lori saw this on a call yesterday. She believes that it is walk time. It is walk time once we
It
get
is
off.
walk
So
time. Let's
wait
go.
expectantly for me to take her. It's a little cold, honestly, to go for a walk, but anyway.
But she believes in you, Irene. You can't let her
She
down.
does. She believes I'm going to produce that walk. She doesn't go to my husband or daughter. She comes to me. Blah.
And this dog now believes that she can stay on the couch while I run around like an idiot and do all the work for her. So I think we've got a pretty good stay started. She doesn't know it yet, but we've started it, and now I'm running around and getting more exciting. But yeah, with your cats and your babies and your little dogs, email us, email the OPH training team with any questions we didn't answer. Please
Yes.
have suggestions for more talk. Sorry, Irene, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you hadn't completed the sentence. There's just two more things. It's almost 8. Let me,
Okay.
should we try to do these two? What do you think,
Sure.
Marty?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll try.
And again, well, I'll just read it. I read everyone else's. Rescue for the last 2. New rescue, 2.5 weeks. 4 years old, very shy. She's recently started picking up toys, but she whines because she can't find a place to hide or bury them. She wanders around the apartment whining and randomly scratching the bottom of her crate or floor. That's
Okay,
kind of cute.
I love
So,
this question. My Chihuahua used to do it. Little dogs especially do this, but they want that thing to disappear, and they're unhappy that they can't put it where they're gonna be able to dig it up later when no one's watching and it's rotted and it's like gross. They really are unhappy with it. It's too big. They can't eat it right now. They're not hungry. They want it to go, but they want to know where they're going to be able to find it again. Just stop giving them those treats and toys. Change it up, like Himalayan yak cheese, a very soft Kong with some cottage cheese in it. As soon as they start doing that, distract them with a piece of cheese, toss some cheese on the floor, some chicken, some beef, and then make that thing go away for them. They're uncomfortable that they can't bury it. It is, have you seen that video, Irene, where they're trying to bring the fish back to life? They're putting the water over it. They're just trying to bury it, but it looks like they're trying to save the fish out of water. The dogs are throwing water on it because that's all they're just trying to bury stuff and carry it away and make it go away. It's too big. They're uncomfortable. I've seen a dog rip its nose up, and a shelter brought me in and said, this dog's ripping its nose up. I'm like, it doesn't want that toy and treat in there. It wants it gone. It wants it buried, and it will literally dig itself to death. trying to make it go away, and it's a concrete floor, it can't go away. They're covering it in the blankets. They're not happy with its presence, its smell. And the way the dog gets rid of it is to bury it, let it rot, let it change its nature till it's more acceptable, more chewable. Change the treat first of all, distract them with cheese, make it go away, gives them something more bite-sized, more more palatable, and then switch to a different treat, cookie or chew in the future. Don't use rawhide, everybody. Don't use rawhide. It's not worth it.
So
Let's
I
stay.
go ahead.
Look at that dog staying. We have it stay.
So we just have one more from Cindy Richardson. Cindy, do you want to just go ahead if you're still on?
Yeah.
Do you want to
Tell
just
us, Cindy.
explain rather than me read this long thing about your dog with kidney failure?
Oh no.
Okay, whoops. Okay, so my little copper is 14 months old. And he is totally, he's always been potty trained. He lays in bed with me. In the middle of the night, he jumps up and I have a gate in front of my bedroom door, so he can't like sneak out of the house, sneak down and leave any place where I don't have control. And just recently, especially since it's been cold, in the middle of the night, he like gets up and has to go to the bathroom. And because he has kidney failure, like I can't give him any of the special treats. He's on the special kidney diet. He has, I mean, everything's, he can't have water after like 7 o'clock at night.
Because of the medicine, is that, Cindy?
He doesn't have medicine. It's just, he's not on any medication except for his really thing. He's on kidney food.
Kidney food.
The Hill's kidney, the prescription food and the prescription treats.
Give him an ice cube or two at night. If he's uncomfortable now because he's
got it, like he's all of a sudden become unpotty trained. Like he gets up in the middle of the night and has to go to the bathroom. Which is a new thing for him because when we stay at my mother's house, because my mom has cancer, so what we do is once every month and a half we go to my mother's house and we put on an electric necklace for the electric fence. So if he has to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, he just kind of walks over to the door, scratches, I let him out, he goes, he comes back and he's done.
Yes.
And when he's at my house, he knows that when we go to bed, we're done for the night. But now he's not doing that. And it's only been the past week. And we've been home a couple weeks now from my mother's. So how do I get him to being back potty trained again like he was?
Okay.
Because the routines are changing.
Exactly. It's harder for them. And especially, kidney failure, like anything else, it kind of advances as well. The food that they're on is so restrictive. So yeah, routine changes really make a difference. Usually what I'll do with the dog that's medical like that is I'll just let them out like 10, 15, 20 minutes later. I'll find a point at which they can go all night because I'll just let them out later and then we're done than we would normal. And then I'll back it up to the normal time if they can. If he's uncomfortable, I would offer an ice cube or two. This time of year, the cold makes a difference too to that processing of the water, the metabolization. So just go with it as much as you can, but do it rather earlier and later rather than the middle of the night. Try and get the last potty later. Try and give them just a little tiny sip of water, just a little bit if you can. I mean, you may see floodgates open, but they get uncomfortable, these older dogs, and things change and they may be requiring more water. Honey, you want to go out?
But he's not now. See, he is not an older dog. He is only 14 months.
I get that. I do. But as it progresses, how bad is it?
Well, they're saying it's stage 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And one of his, he was born November 2nd last year, and he's already lost one of his siblings to kidney disease.
I need to get her out. Hey, Raya, I'm just putting them in together. Kobe, gentle. We're gentle.
He's already lost one of his siblings, really?
Yeah, he lost
Wow.
one of his siblings the week before their first birthday.
Wow, that's crazy. So genetic problem. Okay, I'm gonna, can you email me? Because I've got some links. I've got some vet friends that are really, really, really into this side of things. And there's a beautiful book. I think it's, oh my God, it's called Forever Dog. The vets are there like our doctors. Sometimes they are just hardcore selling the things that they are taught in school that aren't as current as they could be. 14 months old, there's a lot that we could be trying, but I would make it as comfortable as possible, no matter what that takes, because the discomfort of a kidney problem is awful. So I would be trying experimenting, but for your sake, for what you're asking, do it later, do it earlier, don't do it the middle of the night. You've had a change in routine. That young pup is older physically than they are in age chronologically.
Let me go get him. He's laying right here. Let me go get him.
Let me see him. I would love to help you more, and I have vet friends that are really up on this, and I would implore you to try and try different things, but making them comfortable is all we can do sometimes until their end. Oh, baby.
That's a cute pup.
And he looks good. He looks good.
Oh, and he jumps up to the doorknob and he runs, like I have a white German Shepherd next door and they run the fence together.
He looks good.
He was one of the biggest ones in the litter.
He looks good. He's got a tiny case of strabismus there, like the little tiny cross-eyed thing. He looks good. His gums are pink that I'm seeing. His tongue is pink. He looks hydrated. He looks glossy. Make him comfortable. Just do your best to make him comfortable till he eases back in. Don't try and do it all at once. Don't be cross with him. Just offer him a couple sips just a little bit later if you can. Look up this book, Forever Dog, by a really amazing vet, and it really is sweeping the nation. Diet is everything, and the vets don't know everything. That dog looks like we've got a lot of hope there. So different resources, but yes, in terms of getting back to your routine, you just need to make it earlier and later and not the middle of the night, so that he's got another chance. And it just takes a bit of time to settle back into a routine. His kidney problem is stage 3. That is an all-consuming urge. Oh my God, the cuteness, I can't stand it. But he looks good, Cindy.
Yeah.
For stage 3, he looks hydrated. So
yeah. He's fine. Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yep. They say that with this, he could probably live 2 years, but I plan on keeping him a good 10 or 15.
There you go. Get that book, Forever Dog. And you can always do an indoor toilet if it gets awful. Like once it gets awful, you can do an indoor toilet rather than a diaper. Diaper's a last resort for me, but he's asking, just let him, here's the thing, let him know that you're there for him. Be there for him, even if it's uncomfortable for you. Be there for him, because then he won't get so panicked by his own body failing. He can come to you, and that might be his only source of comfort in the end. So just be as gentle and kind as you can. But you're doing an amazing job. What was that other question I saw, Irene? I saw one just flash up. I didn't want to miss.
Yeah, so there's one more, and I was actually going to say we're a little past time. I'm actually very interested in this topic. Let me just tell you what it is. We could either address it now or even maybe do a call on a future call on some version of it. But I really like this one because I've seen it myself. My dog seems to like strong, confident people. Anyone small or scared, she tends to dislike, and it says lounge. Picture her lunge or bark at them. How can I curb that behavior? I'm sure if she's being protective of the family or not. So I also have a dog that will respond to certain people very negatively, usually having to do with a backpack or a funny walk or something different, which is very awkward when your dog reacts to people who are different. So I don't know if you want to quickly address that, Marnie. We could also, if that interests other people, maybe introductions to strangers or reacting to people differently. That could be maybe a topic for the future.
Oh, cool. I think that's a whole, I have so much on that because there are so many things. There's so many layers to do it. But really it's protecting what you can come down to is what you can control. What you can control. So you can't force the dog to accept, You can't force the dog to accept something they're not ready to accept. So you have to break it down into bite-sized chunks like anything else. You have to reward them for showing communication. You do not punish it. You reward it because you need the communication. They need to express themselves. So you've got time to bail before they've lost their tolerance. People, they are uncomfortable and they're smelling things, they're seeing things that they are truly uncomfortable with, and they're expressing that. Barking and lunging is them saying, stay away so I don't bite you, stay away. I freaking love that. I've got a dog here, this little guy, I'm sure you know all that. He does it. He is like eating people before he's telling people, and my job was to get him to express himself before he eats people, because some dogs just don't. They go straight to the bite. So you really, those barking, lunging movements, as much as you don't like them, they are telling you, I'm past. Why is this person this close? Really, and if you can predict it, you can prevent it. If you know that's the kind of demographic they're not comfortable with, get them to see that you're the protector. You're the one that's going to keep them safe. You'll use distance, baby gates, barriers, leashes. You'll keep them safer. When they see you've got control, they need less control. This dog doesn't bite people by me, but it's other people that's the problem, because he knows I will protect. He'll run away. He'll take himself in the corner. He'll put himself in a crate. But if I hand him to a stranger, that's out the window, because he does have no trust with that stranger. Okay. I'm almost done, so I'll be back in a minute. Just hold on 1 second. My son's making lasagna for us tonight. I am very lucky. And that is Penny barking in the background, Teresa. She is a bit of a barker. But that's okay. So yeah, it's so many things. Let me do a whole, can we make that, maybe we could ask Sean Miller if we could bump that up, because I think stranger danger is everything. I don't think we've done one just on stranger danger, have we?
I don't think so. And I've had a lot of timid dogs, foster dogs, who I just did teaching other people to don't reach your hand into my dog's face, and is like, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
People don't believe that it's not what the dog wants. So maybe we can
yes,
can do
people
that
want to. That's the thing. People make eye contact. You've got to, if you can't train that person, you really have to show the dog that you're its advocate, and get distance for them, get barriers, take control, bring the person away. I mean, I was telling Teresa, she's got one person just looks at the dog, wants to make friends with the dog. This dog, don't do it with Penny. She needs to feel protected. She needs to feel like she doesn't have to. Yes, let's do it. I will get everything ready, because there's just too many things, and my brain goes, there's too many things. I have so many things on that, and I'll come prepared.
Great.
Calm and steady on the topic.
Stranger danger it is. So why don't we wind down, because it's 8:15. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. So thank you, Marnie. That was great. Lots of good stuff. We had a nice crew here, a lot of new faces, which is always good. And as always, you can email training@ophrescue.org if you need additional help or anything like that. And this call will be put on the up on the YouTube channel in a couple of days. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Irene. Thanks, Irene. You were wonderful as always. I super appreciate your help. I would be lost without you.
I don't think so, but I'm happy.
I wouldn't see anything that was happening on the side. I'd be all over the place. Thank you.
Can you repeat your email address, please?
Training at OPH.
Sure, I'll say this for it's training@ophrescue.org, and that goes into the training account, and then the people there will either connect you to Marnie or to a different trainer with OPH, but training@ophrescue.org.
.org or .com?
.org. We are an org.
Thank you. That was very, very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.